Being able to like design what I wanted it to look like, I decided to make mine look like the sun, and I used yellow and white LEDs.
Probably the coding. It was really fun because we didn't really get to do anything like that freshman year, so that was probably my favorite part.
Making things in CAD because it gave me like a chance to see what I was making before I actually made it.
I was pretty excited at the beginning, but I kind of was like, this is weird in the middle, because like we just didn't do much and it didn't seem like it made a lot of sense. But like once it's come together and we get to like actually like build it and see it physically like present, it's really cool.
To be able to see a year's worth of hard work come into a cohesive project that I could be proud of. Putting it all together and assembling it and having it all finished and kind of seeing your program being put into the light sculpture and seeing your finished product and knowing that you made that.
I got like, my machining got pretty messed up. So that was really weird to fix because you had to like start over and like spend a lot of time after school, and I don't really have that much time with like extracurriculars and stuff. So that was pretty challenging to find my time and to get it right again and to say, is this right, is this wrong, and learning how to fix these things. So that was pretty challenging.
I struggled to overcome the machining. I had to redo multiple parts of the light sculpture many times.
The machining was probably the hardest part, just because everything had to be so exact to fit in the right spots. And I kept messing up on my rods, my top plate. And that took a lot of extra time.
I think making the chamfer on the top plate was my struggle.
My biggest challenge was when one of my LEDs snapped off and I had to completely machine a new rod and solder in a new LED.
Making the rods took a really long time for me. I didn't have to redo them or anything, but it was just like a long, arduous process.
The programming, that was really hard for me. It took a lot of time. I had to go in after school a few times.
Well, I was in there at lunch doing a bunch of programming because I didn't actually learn how to master arrays very well. So I had to replace all the fadings with digital writes and all of that, which just took up a lot of extra time.
Sometimes what you want to do doesn't really happen, so you kind of have to work with the code.
I struggled to decide on a design because I was going back and forth between two for a really long time, and I wasn't quite sure if I wanted my rods to be spread out or if I wanted them to be closer together, and so that was my hardest part.
Some obstacles that I've had to overcome was this year, a few months ago I was hit by a car, and it was really hard to finish all my work on time. So in the future it'd be really good if you finish all your work early and caught up, so that way any obstacles that life throws your way you can be prepared for.
What advice do I have for future sophomores? I would say that you need to spend, you really need to spend your class time well, because if you don't, you're going to have to go in a lot after school, and that's a mistake that I made earlier in the year because I didn't understand a lot of the stuff, so I had to go in a lot after school. So just make sure that you really understand what you're doing.
Don't get behind. If you have any opportunity to stay ahead or to do work from another class, take it. Do it, because if you get behind a little bit, you're going to get so lost and it's going to be a disaster.
Be really patient in the machine shop, because if you get angry, you're going to botch it, and you're going to have to do it again, and then you're going to be more angry, and it's an endless cycle of being angry. So just take your time and you will do well.
Even the tiniest mistake can completely destroy a part, and then you have to redo it, but once you get it done, it's fun, rewarding.
The yellow LED is not yellow, it's orange. So take that into consideration when you choose your pattern, your color scheme.
I would say for me it was really easy copying and pasting all the exercises because I put all my rods in order in a specific design. So that would just help a lot with the programming. Choose a simple design, even though simple is usually better, even though it may not seem like it at first.
You should definitely work outside of the classroom and be meticulous in your work in the beginning,
specifically on your designs, because if you design it correctly the first time, you'll have a lot easier time the rest of your project.
My advice would be to make sure that you actually like your design, because you will be working on it all year long. And if you decide halfway through that it's not what you wanted, then you're going to be regretting it for a really long time.
For future sophomores, I'd probably say just make sure you pick a design that you actually like. Because I know a lot of people that just kind of pick random circle patterns and they ended up hating it by the end of the year. And I picked a design that I actually liked, and it made the whole process a lot more enjoyable for me. There you go.
Okay.
I'm leaving. Goodbye.